Hello, this is Richard C. Wilson with the Family Office Club. Today we have with us Catherine, who's going to be sharing her investor mandate interview with us. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you.
And what type of an investor are you?
I'm primarily an angel investor. I look at deals actually ranging from all the way from seed, very early stage, through to I would say B or C, depending on the source of the deal flow. And the companies can so B and C probably are probably more in the mainstream of the family office associations types of investments. But my principal activities are at the earlier end, and I'm co-president of the. We look at deals that are, I would say, all the way from just getting started, but mostly we look at them, but we don't invest in those. The ones that we do get very interested in are ones that have very clear value proposition, a very clear market focus, and that have early traction in the market. And so typically we like to see some revenues, even if they're trials, but paid trials will be ideal. But more typically, actually, we have early customer engagement.
Right, right, okay. And can you share a little bit more on your background? My experience with investors like you that are highly active, they have 1,000 miles deep expertise either in tech or how to scale a company or how to grow a team. That's what gives you conviction to pull the trigger on investments. And also, typically have had to have great success in an area to have the extra money, obviously, to invest. So what's some of your background that goes into your capabilities there as an investor?
Um, I have actually multiple sources of, shall we say, um, scars
Sure.
that have taught me on what things to look for. But
Okay.
when people ask me what kind of sectors I tend to focus on, I tell people, or what kind of deals, I tell people deals that can make me money. Um, Having said that, there are things that I don't do. But I
Okay.
actually broadly look at any kind of company that leverages technology in some
Okay.
fashion, number one. And these could be information technology or medical devices, or in some cases, if I'm co-investing with very knowledgeable investors in diagnostics, I don't touch biotech. And I have invested in real estate funds, but I only want to invest with very experienced, 30-year long kind of experience, track record kind of players.
Okay.
Um, and that's just for me, but the angel organizations that I'm involved with primarily look at the first two.
Okay.
And having said that, I also have a very, very broad set of uh, relationships across the country, other active angel investors, because I head up the deal side of all the way from deal sourcing to evaluation, selection, to diligence to syndication. And so, on the syndication front, once we decide to invest, we want to support those deals. And so I actually maintain active dialogue with lots and lots of angel organizations.
Okay.
So bottom line is anything that's tech driven,
Yeah.
but they can be service companies. They can be companies that, like I said, leverage technology. So
Sure.
today, I mean, just about any company, right, must leverage technology. So it's a very, very broad mandate.
Right. Okay. And it makes me curious with the Berkeley Angel Network. I'm sure there's a scope of what they look at. Then there's a type that just gets done faster. You guys talk about, oh, we got to find more companies like that one we did 18 months ago. What is the niche within the niche that is just easiest to get done through? Is it fintech? Is it manufacturing tech? Is it real estate tech? Is it cyber
Yes,
related?
we have looked at all of those and have invested in all of those,
Okay.
all of the above. I guess what I think of as deals that could be successful are companies that have a deep set of understanding of what they're going after, and what I call sustainable competitive advantage. And this could be obviously technology, but it could also be sector expertise.
Mm-hmm.
It could be um, uh, experience or somebody having spotted an opportunity, having participated in a sector. Maybe they were at a C-level position, but not a CEO, not a whatever, right? But
Right.
as they are working in a particular sector, they identified an opportunity. Those are actually the best. We like companies that originate from having participated inside a operational or marketing or whatever
Right.
role where they have an insight or a particular level of expertise. That's number one, and that connects up to the number two, which is that they have therefore developed a very clear value proposition to the target audience. And when I say value proposition, it's amazing, Richard, how many companies get founded with a product proposition, having never tested it,
Right.
and are just always playing catch up on, gee, we think this is the case. And have you actually talked to anybody who's going to actually use this thing and willing to pay for it, right? So
Right.
when I say value proposition, I mean, and this is where we actually like the market traction, is that you can demonstrate and prove that actually there are people out there who are interested, are hurting for your kind of product.
Right.
And the last thing, which actually is the most important, frankly, is there the leadership, the executional skills, the strategic vision that can actually realize this potential? And
Right.
that's a how do you read the people kind of thing. But many of my other activities in my both consulting world as well as my affiliation with the Alliance of Chief Executives um, give me that kind of background and knowledge about what companies need to actually scale successfully, to anticipate, to be out there, and what kind of communication skills, what kind of value systems you have. All of those kinds
Right.
of things roll up into one, which comes
Right.
down to the team.
Yeah, yeah, so many good points there about, product testing and traction. And, one thing we often look for our investors is really, has this person, does they have a team that can execute together? Is the market accepting the price, accepting the product, and just such simple things like that. I talk to people all the time, like one yesterday, they said, "Oh, well, we're only doing 6,000 a month in sales, but with our conversion rate, we just need to get in front of 100 million people and we'll be a 120 million a year company." And I said, "Well, have you ever grown a company to 10 million in revenue? Because it doesn't really work like the spreadsheet tells you.
Right.
Things are, might go sideways a bit along the way." And so it's a hard thing about early stage investing. And that's part of the value of an angel network, to get access to a brain like yours, other people's brains that, together can help bring to consensus whether something is a smart investment. And it's tough to do. So my last question here is just, what's your number one piece of advice that maybe you wish you knew 15 years ago, and others listening could benefit from?
Um, I, after having done this for 20 years, I am afraid that I'm going to actually say something that sounds really trite, which is I'm looking for leadership. I'm looking for the person to bet on. My
Right.
motto has been, a good team can make any product sing, and a lousy team can tank the best technology. So I think at the end of the day, it's the people that make it work. And so I'm looking for that one person, because I'm early stage, which means that the team is very small. So you're looking for a couple of founders.
Right.
You're really looking at the CEO to build the culture, to kind of personify the value systems, but most importantly to understand his or her level of responsibility, to anticipate, to see, look ahead, to act and think like a CEO. And that's not actually obvious to somebody who hasn't been one.
Right.
I direct a group of CEOs in talking about their strategic challenges, and so I've seen firsthand, at very very close quarters, what it means to um, think and care about your people, think and care about your customers, think and care about your culture and values. To anticipate what the growth pains might look like, to understand deeply what the sales motion process, how you target, who can say no. that kind of thing that actually helps company get really, really successful. So
Right.
that was what you were talking about. And this, the other aspect of it is at the CXO level, the people who are co-founders, who are on the team, the exec team, um, uh, they don't necessarily have those skills and talents to be the CEO. So the person that really is in charge has the look and feel and the behavior of a leader. And
Right.
that's not necessarily replicatable if you just have been a, shall we say, just CPO or CMO or whatever. And
Right.
so that's what I look for. It sounds really trite, but it's amazingly how rare that is.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. And I did a investment in a fintech company last August. I was a number two investor, and the CEO had grown a fintech company doing the exact same business, but inside of a large bank. And he had grown it to 100 million valuation with
Mm-hmm.
16,000 clients, 500 million of money lent out to consumers. And he didn't have a non-compete, and he rolled out. Now, instead of 2% equity, he's a majority equity shareholder. He's that much more motivated. Like, I'm going to bet on that jockey all day long compared to the guy who woke up with a bright idea and he thinks he's going to change the world or she's going to change the world. Like, have they been a CEO before, and have they ran that business model before? Do they know the market? He checked so many boxes that most people don't check, that I thought, well, for sure, I'm going to invest with this guy, because he's an executor. He's going to get this done. So I think that I couldn't agree more with what you just said, and I put my money on what you just said, basically, just a couple quarters ago. So
But
appreciate
by
you
the same
sharing.
token, I just want to also add that as an investor, um, we need to behave in a way that is similar to what we ask of the founders, CEOs,
Mm-hmm.
which is that we should anticipate ahead and look around and have that 360 vision if we deserve our what we think of ourselves as being experienced investors.
Sure.
I like to say that when you look at a company early stage, or you look at the capital journey, how much money they're going to have to raise and all that stuff, and the different, shall we say, pivots they're going to have to do and so on. Um, you think about how do you anticipate market changes.
Right.
As investors, I think that we need to think about not just the upfront risk of what fundraising risks might look like, but
Right.
also there's funding risk, there's fundraising risk, and then there's
Right.
funding partner risk, for example, right? So in every
Right.
direction where there's an obvious risk that's upfront, you have to think 2 or 3 steps down the road to see what else is going on, and then you look and see if this proposition actually has what it takes to kind of cover those kinds of bases. I mean, nobody is risk free, or else we wouldn't be playing in that game.
Right.
But the bottom line, though, is that you're looking for people, a team that can anticipate and therefore
Right.
can listen hard and can pivot fast.
Right, right, yeah, and I think FDA risk scares me the most, having go through clinical trials. But capital raising risk, if it's binary, if they don't raise their next round, they're
Right,
done. That's
right,
pretty scary as well.
right,
So I
right.
usually try to stay away from things that are high on those two levels, just
But
personally.
if we
But
if we co-invest with others, we want to know who those other people are, especially if they're lead investors or anchor.
right,
We want to make sure that they are going to be leading the company in the right direction, at least in the direction that we agree with, for
right,
example.
right, right. Okay, great. Well, our 7 minute interview turned into 14 minutes because you had so many good insights, and I think some people might have to listen to this a second time. You obviously have a ton of experience and a big network. We'd be happy to have you on another one of our virtual investor discussion panels. We're scheduling those out all the way through August right now, so I'm sure you'd be a fit for one of those coming up. And I appreciate your thoughts here today. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, just let our team know here at the Family Office Club. If you're a Family Office Club charter member, we're happy to help connect you to Catherine. It's just one of the benefits of your membership. And thanks again for your time here today, Catherine.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you too, Richard.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.